Great. So, hi everyone. I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot. We've had a horrendous time trying to get this show to go live. Uh, Hopefully, this is going to work and people can hear. So, if you can in the chat alongside this show, we're now on YouTube, just let me know if there's any problems with sound or whatever it is. So, welcome again, and it's great to be here. I've got John Hutchison, and it's been many years. I have always wanted to interview you, John. So I think way back in the day, maybe you participated in a George Green interview that I did, and maybe some others. But at any rate, it's great to have you here. And Matthew, I don't know how to say your last name.
Estefo, yeah, Estefo.
Okay, Stefo.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
you
great
got it
to
right.
have you helping and facilitating this, and you are helping by putting this on YouTube. I was blocked everywhere, so I don't know what strange thing is going on, but they don't want me to do this show, obviously. So can you introduce yourself, John, and give some background as to who you are? You've been out there for a very long time working on what we call free energy. I don't know if you call it 0 point energy or whatever. And you also are using a magnetic motor, if I understand, and various things. So can you give yourself an introduction?
Sure. Name is John Hutchison, a crazy Canadian guy, working on Tesla and vintage technologies for ever since I was young. I'm still young, and made some discoveries that was promoted by other scientists. And well, yeah, it's fun to be here with you folks and Kerry. Done a lot of
Mhm.
TV show stuff, radio shows, Art Bell and Discovery Channel, Fox TV, blah, blah, blah. Even CNN and NBC. But I am here working away still, doing my stuff. And
I'm his wife,
this is Nancy Hutchison. I got married to her.
All
and
right.
John is the only person I know on the planet that knows how to transmutate matter using high voltage and radio frequencies. And that's what he's doing, and that's what's happening right now with the Fukushima disaster. He set up a shield. He used to work with Reagan on the Star Wars program. There's a shield that he's put up, and we have mobile units across the coast, as well as in Japan, as well as in Australia, and they're all interconnected. So there's a lot more to John Hutchison than what he's going to tell you.
All
Well,
right. Thank you
probably.
for that. So in terms of your technology. And Matthew, if you want to sort of interject here, what your role is you're playing with John and his work.
Oh yeah, yeah. So my name is Matthew. I run the Math Easy Solutions channel on YouTube and elsewhere. I actually got involved with John because like my goal is to replicate his work. So and best way to learn is go in and talk to him. And so what I have done is well twofold is make sure all of his videos and so on are like public and live on YouTube and elsewhere and backed up. And fortunately, yeah. So John and Nancy gave me the hard drive that they had, like 3 terabytes. That I think Nancy did a lot of that, digitizing a lot of the footage, like raw, unedited footage, and like TV shows, interviews he was on. And what I've been doing is that playlist that you put a link on your Rumble. That's the one that I pretty much I've been slowly adding everything, like all the videos there to it. Like I'm talking like 6 hours unedited footage of John Hutchison, like, and then as well as including short highlight clips and interviews and so on. So basically, basically preserve his work as much as possible and also learn from him. So I've went to visit his lab a couple times this year and
Okay.
last year. Yeah. So.
So thank you. And so just getting back to John for the moment, John, can you explain your work, how your thoughts about free energy have changed over the years? Do you have new information about things that Tesla investigated? I did a short documentary on Tesla recently. We went to the Tesla science site in Long Island. Maybe you're familiar with it, where the Wardenclyffe Tower used to stand. Have you been there?
No, no. I have met representatives from Yugoslavian Tesla Museum at Expo 86. So I got involved in free energy by people asking me to build something because they got in trouble by people that create fraudulent free energy devices. So it started in 1993, I believe. Ria Trade Business Group in Vancouver, Canada. My first clients. Then Japan. Several times I went to Japan, give lectures and demonstrations of free energy. Then Thomas from Germany and his family invested in me to build these things. I never went out to promote it. They saw it on television and wanted me to build these things, so I did.
Bye.
It's basically, bye, Angel. Basically, it's much like Dr. Franklin E. Mead's device, free energy collector using crystalline structures and that kind of thing, and cohere technology, vacuum tube technology. And I built them quite well, I feel. I have no complaints, and they worked well. They were tested by Kiewit Institute of Technology for any private activity. Like most of these guys use batteries and that kind of thing in these things, but mine was tested extensively and demonstrated very well in Japan. So I had a lot of clients over the years. They paid very well. I didn't go out and promote anything. We paid like $250,000 for these things, and they wanted to bring them into production. So we went through Canada Research and Development Team, also in Japan, Germany. It was presented in Esquire magazine, which I still have a copy of that. I need to get it translated someday into English. Presented on television. There's a TV. One of my partners made an excellent video on Nancy's YouTube channel about how the thing works, and we tested it. So,
Okay,
yeah.
but as far as making progress with getting your inventions, you're saying you demonstrated them on these various television shows and other things, correct? So are you getting any, in other words, are people hiring you or hiring your technology?
Oh, I turned down people who want to hire me. I like working on my own. I like my own lifestyle. I was offered to work with George Hathaway in Toronto, Canada, with my Prince Hans out of Liechtenstein, a friend of mine for decades. He owns his own country kind of thing. He's an art collector and gun collector like myself. But I did not. I turned that down and said, no, I like my simple life. I was offered also to work with the Artificial Reef Society in Vancouver on taking apart ships. I worked in foreign Navy destroyers, taking them apart. But I turned him down too. I kind of like my own privacy. I never was hired. They tried to get me into the Pentagon by Timmy Ventura, and I respectfully declined. I'm not really into working for other people kind of thing. So.
Okay, when you say you're not into these other things, are you, how do you expect to actually help the world use your technology?
Well, good question. Although my clients tried to get it into manufacturing, but that didn't work out. So it's up to them, not me. I'm not a business person. My God, even Donald Trump wanted me on a TV show, The Apprentice, and I turned that down because it's not my world. It's really not my world.
Why does it matter whether it's your world or not? I mean, in other words, you sort of are working in sort of isolation, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, but don't you want free energy to be available to all the people around the world?
I would think that's a good plan. Now, my stuff has presented on major TV shows, and it's up to, I feel, up to the young generation, next generation, to make these things themselves and present it. They probably have a business sense. I sure don't. But I don't.
There are a lot of free energy activists and inventors out there. Do you communicate with any of them?
Oh, I sure have. Yeah, a lot of the claims are just claims only, not working devices. The young gentleman is Bob Greener, Martin Fleischman Memorial Project, is really trying to get into free energy. There's Charles Crawford, a young guy who is really into this too. Now, the other olden days.
Okay, there's a free energy inventor. His name is Patrick, is his first name. Oh no, where is that coming from? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know how to get rid of these people. So are you familiar with Patrick? He's a free energy inventor.
I wouldn't know. I know Patrick Flanagan and a few other Patricks. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, you don't know which one it is. Okay, I'll look it up to see if I can find his last name. It just escapes me.
I know Gordon Novell was very interested in free energy and anti-gravity. I've worked with him since 2006. By invitation of Colonel Alexander, all the way up to when he passed away. He enlisted Paris Hilton to work on this, and we're working on this ARV unit. And I consulted with a friend of mine who owns a company back in Illinois to help build this thing, and we ran into a problem with the cable itself was too heavy for the unit.
Okay, he's called Patrick Riley. Are you familiar with him?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's too bad because he's making a lot of progress. I'm going to see if I can put this link in the chat and then you could share it with the world, perhaps. Matthew, see that link? That's a link to an interview I did with Patrick Riley, who is making quite a bit of progress in, he calls his designs over Unity, but I'm sure they'd be of great interest to John. So you could share that with John after the show as well.
Yeah. So I have it opened on the website so the audience can see it.
You just copy the link, put it in the chat.
Yeah. I'll put that also in the YouTube chat and I'll send it to John.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
YouTube chat.
Yeah, but they can also see it as well. So that's Patrick Riley, over Unity Designs, and you had an interview last year with him. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a really he's doing wonderful work and he's a real smart guy. So John, in terms of, you say you're working on your own, have you built like a car or do you have, I know you're trying to be able to, you know, have a house, run a house, right, on this energy, right?
Well, I don't know about running a house. I mean, that's up to the investors. I'm not that interested in free energy anymore because I did my stint with it with different, I call them clients, still friends of mine. And they tried to bring it into manufacturing, but unfortunately that never happened. We brought it to Canada Research and Development in Vancouver, and they didn't know what to do with it. So take it to the military. I did an article presentation because it's on the Small Business Innovative Research Program, DoD, Department of Defense. Sent Tom Beard to put me on that in 1983. And I sent a proposal to DARPA, Dr. Bud Duran, and I still have a return. Again, being ignorant of paperwork.
Okay.
He wanted me to redo the forms. So.
Well, in other words, you've probably been stopped for a long time, but it's possible that the climate out there for your work, the openness for this work, the work of Tesla, actually, and so on. I mean, it gets into a lot of different areas like portal tech, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so have you written your work into books?
Oh, no. I don't write anything. I leave that up to people that are interested. They do the writing. This has been published in many books since. Mind Benders by George Hathaway, one of my partners. There's Nick Cook's book, The Hunt for Zero Point.
Right.
Bushman, Lockheed Martin. There are dozens of people who put me in, I guess, small print and books and stuff. Colonel Alexander wrote the latest book. So a lot of people do. I don't do that kind of stuff.
But you don't do that. Okay, fine. So Matthew, have you tried to do anything in terms of writing articles and that sort of thing for, to get his book out, not book it, but his work out? Matthew, you're muted, I think.
Oh, sorry. I was, yeah, so I'm back on. Yeah, so I usually do live streams mainly, but I also like every video that I upload there, I usually write up a lot of this stuff, but not actual books, but like if you see every single one has specific notes that I post articles on that has the like we're talking timestamps with including a whole lot of notes, and I'm also setting up an AI project on Grok where I send all the books related to John into it, feed into it. So now I could ask it questions on like what to do. So and I ordered some a Tesla coil and some other stuff. I made my own Faraday cage. So I'm gonna be gradually building up, but using AI and all of pretty much every single thing that's written about John, and then in a way where it's just very easy and compact. But I do weekly streams on Wednesday. A lot of them are on the Hutchison Effect, going over
Okay.
the theory about it and so on.
So
And
when John, let me ask John this. When you use what you has been now famous, the Hutchison effect, that's the effect of being able to move an object, right?
Correct.
And you've got, I don't know if it's zillions, but you have many videos on YouTube showing you moving objects. But is it just stopped there, or did you learn how to, apply it to, I don't know, to, for example, or build a craft? It's like for a UFO, right? It's basically energy, the same kind of thing that UFOs run on.
Well, yeah, that's a long time ago. It was causing things to move around, metals to transform into other metals. To me, it was a headache, really, until my partners that started to come around by accident, like Ernest Winfield, and then later on, Dura Tassel and Pizarro promoted it to the U.S. military industrial complex. And they filmed it, and there was, U.S. Army intelligence. It was
So do you think that they borrowed from your work, in other words?
well, the military industrial complex? Yeah, of course. I think so. I mean,
Right.
so many of them I met, and I didn't hide anything. I always told them what exactly was going on, and I didn't care less, Tom Bearden put me on the SBIR program, and then I presented it to the U.S. government folks, and Canadian government folks who actually videotaped it. Los Alamos videotaped it, and U.S. Army.
Okay, so yeah, right. But are you aware that obviously free energy is being stopped? Do you kind of agree with that?
No, I don't think purposely stopped. I mean, could be simply no interest in it, basically. There was a
Well,
friend of mine.
based on my work, I can tell you a lot of free energy inventors and activists also have died in mysterious situations. Are you aware of that?
I've heard of it, but I really don't know. I don't hang around with that kind of people. I know some of them that are really doing good work. And like Dr. Franklin E. Mead and his patent in 1992, December 31, on a zero-point energy collector. And I found out later that IBM was buying up all the patent applications for it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't like getting in too much into conspiracy stuff. And kind of let people do their own thing. And it's not my job to go around telling people what to do. And,
I see. Okay, so did you ever know Brian O'Leary? He was a NASA astronaut, supposed to.
Brian and I were very close friends. We traveled to Japan together. We gave lectures. We demonstrated free energy. I stayed at his home. I'm written up in his book.
Right.
I missed Brian quite a bit. He supported me quite a bit. Sadly, I really miss him. We had a lot of fun together.
Okay, that's great to hear. He died and they killed him. Do you know that?
I don't know if they killed him. I know he died in South
So
America.
he said that he was given a fast-acting cancer that in less than a year from the diagnosis to his death.
I know. It's very sad. And I wonder how his wife Meredith is doing. We were good friends as well.
Yeah, I'm not in touch with her, but they, live in, or they used to live in Villacabamba, of course.
Yeah, that was, I met them in Oregon, actually.
In
Stayed
Oregon,
home in Oregon.
or the state of Oregon, did you say?
State of Oregon.
Yeah, uh-huh. Okay.
I miss him. I really miss Brian. We had a lot of fun. He loved his Muppet puppet, Flapless pig, Brian. We had a lot of fun.
Okay. So, and if you were going to talk, we have an audience for this video. A lot of people were very excited to hear from you because I guess you haven't done that many interviews over the recent times, right?
Last being major big ones. Well, with Matthew, I've done a lot with him and other folks. I've done my TV show with True TV with Governor Jesse Ventura. It's called
Right.
That was the last one I did.
That's a while ago, though, right?
Yeah. Last ones for Fox and Discovery were in the 2000 time frame. I was like,
Okay.
my
Matthew, do you know, since Matthew, do you know the latest, like when was he interviewed recently? Anywhere else besides this show?
Yeah, there was one. Remember the woman that was part of the that documentary that you were in, John, the one with the Ark of the Covenant. I think you guys had a live stream interview like a year ago. I think a year or so ago.
Marianne Heinlein, yeah.
Yeah, Marianne. She has a big Substack as well, so she's pretty big. She was part of the Ark of the Covenant documentary.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you familiar with okay,
One
the
second.
name just went out.
I have someone at my door. I'll be back.
All right, that's fine. So you know George Green, you remember him, right? He died as well.
Doesn't really stand out too much, George Green. I know that a lot of my friends have passed on, like Dr. Rocher, with Dr. Brian O'Leary, many, like I think maybe a huge amount of people. And Dr. Rocher stayed with me for a month in Oregon, and she left and died. And then Gordon Nobel passed away, and then so many of them. It's like,
Are you familiar with a scientist called Richard Allen Miller?
Richard
Allen Miller.
Sounds-
Richard Allen Miller.
sounds familiar.
Well, I've interviewed him many times. He's quite brilliant, and he's a physicist. Okay. He lives in Oregon. Okay, where are you located? Which are you in Canada right now, John?
No, I'm in California, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. License. It's been sunny here for quite a while, and it's still sunny.
It's been what?
It's still sunny here, believe it or not.
Sunny.
Sunny, yeah, you said sunny.
It's
Yeah.
warm too. I know. Are you in Los Angeles? I've been there many times.
I'm in Calabasas.
Cool. Okay. All right.
Where's Calabasas in? Which state is that?
Well, it's in
Or-
California. It's
Oh, okay.
inland from Malibu, just
Oh,
Okay.
less than
Malibu
12
Beach?
miles.
Malibu.
Malibu,
'cause-
yeah, near Malibu.
I love that area. I love fun there.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, because John's in Willett. It's like north of Sacramento. It's
I
like around
see.
there. Yeah, so when I visited, I would have to go to Santa Rosa Airport and then drive, rent a car and drive for an hour to go see him.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, now in terms of building, did you know Bob Lazar?
I've heard of him. I never really bought his stuff. I would listen more to my friends at Lockheed, like Lloyd Bushman and Rex Webb, who know the real stuff. But Bob Lazar, I don't know. I heard of him, but I don't really. How can you say? I could be skeptical of him.
All right. Well, are you aware that he built a car that would run on water?
John, you're frozen, but I've actually heard of that. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's his documented, information. It looks like John
Yeah, it's
has
frozen.
lost the connection. Maybe he's
Yeah.
frozen.
Yeah,
So,
John. Yeah. Oh, he's back on.
yeah, Bob Lazar built a car that would run on water.
Hmm.
And his stuff is documented. So, and John Lear, did you know who John Lear was? Who's
Yeah, I think my
The
ex
pilot. Yeah.
interviewed him on her TV show.
okay. So
Yep.
John Lear, of course, has passed on also, but Bob Lazar was very good friends with him.
Hmm.
So, do you is there any new invention that you have that you might like to talk about?
No, not really. I've been through a lot of them, studying them in paper format, but I'm working on Dr. Mallett's idea of time movement. He's using laser, I'm using RF, and I think that if I can affect an atomic clock, I think it would be important.
What would that do if you affected the atomic clock? How would that help anything?
Oh,
What would that mean?
I'm very interested in cosmology, Einstein stuff, and other physicist stuff, George Gamow. I think that because it's been proven that time dilation happens with astronauts, and Dr. Mallet has some results on his time machine. So I'm using high frequency RF and super high voltage capacitors, setting up a discharge ring and a magnetic field. I think if you can speed up a magnetic field that's close to the speed of light, within an electrostatic field spinning as well, you can cause a time distortion.
Right.
So I've been working on that for quite a while.
Well, there's a theory that the secret space program is using, time shifting and changing timelines and that sort of thing.
That could very well be. Is that NASA?
Well, NASA is part of the secret space program.
Yeah.
Space Force, Trump's Space Force is part of the secret space program. Did you
Yeah.
ever hear my interview or the Gaia TV interviews with William Tompkins? He was a Navy guy. He died recently, but he talked about the Nazis, how the Nazis infiltrated NASA and took it over. The Pleiadians and the Nazis were always warring and still are over control of NASA and the space program.
Yeah, I do know many people at NASA through letters and emails over the years, and there was a challenge to create the warp drive with Mark Millis. I don't know if you ever heard of Mark Millis, but he was really involved in the warp drive, and also met NASA personnel down in California at a conference once.
Okay. Well, I worked at JPL
Okay, yeah, okay.
for a while. I was a contractor over there in communications. Obviously, I'm not a scientist, but I did work with scientists over there. So, so I do have some background in this sort of thing. I'm very interested in space anyway, and outer space and portals and portal tech, time travel, all of that. Did you ever know Sean David Morton?
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think you must have met him. He was a journalist like me, an investigator and a journalist and an author. Well, he died recently, unfortunately, but he wrote a series of books called Sands of Time, all about the beginnings of NASA and the secret space program, and how they learned how to use time travel. So they're using that right now in the secret space program. Are you aware of that?
I've heard rumors from Los Alamos in my DTIC program thing, well as other scientists I know that tell me certain things by emails usually. So I am kind of like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
Right. So, what do you think about CERN and these particle accelerators that open wormholes?
Oh, I love that stuff. I even got my own particle accelerator, small one, because I was inspired by a Canadian Department of Defense physicist, Harold Wilson, talking to the head guy, Dr. Kuhn. They really believed in my little particle accelerator system and what happens with the atoms and all that stuff. I'm really into DESY, because I met them when I was living in Germany for 2 years, and they wrote a small article on me, a rough draft that shows all the different diagrams of the atomic particles interacting with what I'm doing, kind of stuff. So,
But I mean, isn't it very difficult to build your own particle accelerator? Isn't that a very, maybe even dangerous thing to do? What do you think?
well, mine was accidentally discovered by a scientist from D&D Canada, and I've had it always with me, and I improved it by using magnetic fields and waveguide cavities and that kind of thing, plus powerful magnets. It's small, but I mean, really small compared to a particle accelerator.
Okay.
One of my many friends is a nuclear physicist, Dr. Robert Kuntz, who wrote me a letter of recommendation. Also, I stayed and lived in Germany with a nuclear physicist.
Well, there's a lot of famous particle accelerators. In fact, there's even one, it's called a linear accelerator here in California. You know about the one in Northern California, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, most of them I know. I mean, even Canada has its own little one.
Sure. So when they're doing that, they are opening wormholes. Would you agree?
I fully agree. That's very true.
Okay. So that's time travel. I mean, if you have a wormhole, you can actually go places through it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one time I was talking to somebody, a scientist, about this, and they actually, the person was not willing to discuss things. He was trying to be really secret, but he did say that he thought it took a different kind of technology to move a human through something as opposed to physical matter besides humans. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think I've heard of that before, and I hear about it, but I like seeing results in real
Have
life.
you tried to move anything through your little, particle accelerator? Have you done anything like that?
Well, Dr. Harold Wilson sure thinks so, and I listen to him. I'm not a physicist and I still don't know mathematics, but I listen to what other people say, and I agree with him. And I wrote him letters, he wrote back. Dr. Kuntz was always kind of interested in what I'm doing.
Okay, but you're kind of avoiding my question. So you don't want to say, right? Okay, I don't mind. I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything.
I wouldn't get in trouble. Nobody cares about this stuff. So, I mean, I put it right on television, right? But I haven't really gone into high focus yet. I'm still working on rebuild of the lab and that. So
Oh,
I wouldn't keep it a secret. I'm not interested in secrets. My God, I used to get
well, you used to live in Sedona, didn't you?
Hmm?
You used to live in Sedona.
Yeah, I was married to Helena, and that's where Gordon and I met up again. Yeah, Sedona, Arizona. Dr. Rocher lives there.
Are you talking about Gordon Novell or a different Gordon?
Gordon Novell.
Gordon Novell?
Yeah.
Okay, he was a good friend of mine. I interviewed him many times.
Yeah, I got an interview with him. My wife Nancy did that. And Gordon stayed with us, and with my other wife, Helena.
Okay, but there's a lot of portals, and there's a lot of portal openings in Sedona, right?
Oh yeah, especially right in Sedona itself, a magical place to stay. That's where I got married to Helena. But
Okay. But did you ever try to go through a portal like that kind of thing?
I've been through something because time dilation happened and you really don't notice it.
Okay.
So traveling with Nancy and also Helena.
Uh-huh.
Something that changed time from several hours to get to a location to just 45 minutes.
Okay.
I've had things vanish before my eyes, and I'm thinking, am I
Really? That's
schizophrenic?
kind of cool.
Oh, heck yeah. I thought, am I going sick? I'm going to get mentally ill or something. But right before my eyes, and nothing turned on. It just seems these things seem to come around and happen.
Well, don't you think that the Native Americans knew all about portals?
I believe that.
Yeah.
I always say I would consult with a Native American about certain things. I got a bit of Native in me. My grandmother was Grandma Morningstar. So.
Oh, yeah?
The rest of me is Scottish, by the way. Bit Scottish now.
Yes. Okay, so do you feel like you're on the verge of a new, we're on the verge of a new century, a whole new way of looking at matter and all of that? Don't you think we're getting very close to that?
Oh, I would have to say so, and that's what I believe in too. Because someday, like I look back on old videos to turn of the century stuff in San Francisco, and start thinking, holy, not them ignorant back then. Now we're going to have maybe 100 years from now, 50 years, 25 years, people looking back at us now, laughing their heads off, saying, wow, they were trying, weren't they?
Exactly. Well, let me ask you this. I fly a lot. I travel quite a bit, and I'm aware that airplanes are using free energy, a form of free energy to actually use as fuel right now. Are you aware of that?
No, like you, I did a lot of traveling, like to different countries, and
Right.
Vancouver, LA, usually 2 hours back and forth. So I enjoy flying, and
Have you noticed, if you pay attention, you might just do this now in the future, but pay attention, see that they arrive sooner than they're supposed to?
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And
Cool.
that's happening a lot, and they have to kind of cover it up and stuff like that. But I noticed it.
Sure noticed one time it was Vancouver to LA only took under an hour. So well, that's just weird. Okay, I didn't think much of it. Good. Okay.
Right. So do you have any ET contact that help you with your inventions or anything?
Not, no. Well, it's Matthew who's. I found Matthew, and no.
But I'm his ET contact. I'm his illegal alien.
You're not aware of it then if you do have some unseen help, in other words.
I think the unseen help doesn't use the internet.
Well, that's for sure. Well,
Yeah.
they could if they wanted to, but
But I think, to interject, I think John's earlier wife, Helena, I think she was big on like talking to spirits and all that, or
I see.
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
she was.
Well,
Yeah.
Was it interesting?
is she still around or did she pass on or what?
She passed on. Nancy's good at spirit interactions as well as my other lady for a long time, filmmaker Yin Gazda in Germany. And we were very close for a very long time, and we're still in contact. And she knows her stuff. She did a lot of filmmaking and movies. Then
Do you know about the new Spielberg movie, right? That did you know that Spielberg was given information about ETs back in the days of Close Encounters? Did you ever hear that?
I believe that Yin told me that too, and we drove past his house down in LA. He was using a lawnmower to cut his grass. That's Yin. She knows all these people. She was Mrs. Roddenberry. She knew her house guest at Mrs. Roddenberry's home in Bel Air, and I have Mrs. Roddenberry gave her all the Star Trek stuff.
Roddenberry? Are you saying Roddenberry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Star Trek guy. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Maybe,
What about Arthur C. Clarke? Did you ever meet him?
which one?
Arthur C. Clarke?
No, I don't. No,
Space Odyssey.
Space Odyssey.
no, I didn't meet him.
He was into ball lightning research actually. Arthur C. Clarke. If you there's an article he made actually about ball lightning. He was whenever lightning strikes, he would inspect for ball lightning.
Yeah, well, he was very read in on the secrets, actually, and I was going to interview him right before he died. Then he died, unfortunately.
What year did he die?
This is actually several years ago now because you have to put COVID in there. So, it's probably 7 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
But, he was very much older, but I was really, dying to interview him.
Wow.
He knew a lot of secrets.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
The whole Roddenberry group, the co-producers and all that, I stayed with one of them for a couple of weeks in Glendale. Kirk R. Thatcher, who played the punk rocker, co-producer of Star Trek 4, we're good friends. But then we'd go, when Yin got back from Hollywood, Kirk Thatcher from Jim Henson production, we'd go down and have dinner with the Star Trek people. Like, Star Trek.
okay.
But the
Actually, I'm a little more into Battlestar Galactica myself.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that show.
yeah, it's my favorite. So
Bridges, Lloyd Bridges.
sorry.
Was that with Lloyd Bridges as the captain of the?
No, that you're thinking Stargate. Stargate.
Great. Oh, I was a guest on in that one.
Uh,
Stargate,
yeah.
that's the one? Yeah, that's in Vancouver, Burnaby, British Columbia.
Uh-huh.
They came visiting me and they took me to the studios. I got a bunch of photographs and videos of us hanging out. But that's a good show. That's a good show. Stargate SG-1.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they let out some secrets, right, of travel and all that.
Of course, the film people know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they definitely do. Are you aware of other dimensions, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's part of portal tech and all of that, right?
Yeah. Because I read a lot of books and
Right.
that kind of thing was in the 70s. I read many books on this stuff. One of my favorite cosmologists is George Gamow. But there was all these books. I didn't watch TV. I listened to the radio and read all these different books that were available to me. And my dad was head of Collier's Encyclopedia's Western section of North America. So I had a big library to play with. So
Oh, that's nice.
oh, fun. A lot of fun.
So, have you ever yourself feel like like time traveled or actually, left the planet or any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Especially when I sit down in the sun and stare at it. I'm
Okay.
not kidding. I feel, and I have to get up and.
Well, you're supposed to be able to, get energy from the sun and use that as food, actually.
That's true. There are two frequencies, side frequency, 25 gigahertz and 75 gigahertz, that extend the telomeres in a human body.
Right.
But
Well, there's also, you know who David Sereda is?
oh, David, I know David for a long time.
Yeah, I would think.
I did a show with him. David Sereda, yeah.
And what about Richard Hoagland? Did you ever meet him?
Richard, might have talked to him on the phone. I don't think I met him.
He lived in New Mexico, most of the time.
So David, I met a number of times.
Yeah, David used to live in Sedona. Maybe you guys knew each other there.
Mostly Vancouver.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's a Canadian, actually.
So are you paying attention to 3i Atlas at all right now?
3R?
3i Atlas, the craft went behind the sun, then it went close to Mars. Now it's kind of coming on the 19th of December. It's supposed to be near us. It's called 3i Atlas. Maybe it's a craft. People are calling it, scientists are calling it a comet and all that.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of it, but
Oh, you haven't been tracking it?
no, I do have radio astronomy stuff, but I haven't been using it that much for tracking things.
Okay.
So, although I can sit down and turn up the frequencies and see what's out there.
Well, you could create a portal even in your lab, right?
I believe so.
Okay. So did you have any big breakthroughs or have you just been steadily on the same track all these years? What do you think?
I would have to say I had a number of breakthroughs and also awarenesses of certain things that happen.
Okay.
that are really beyond my early years of doing things. Things appearing, disappearing, footsteps of my dog that wasn't there. These are all kind of interesting situations. Shadows along the walls in Oregon.
Uh-huh.
A lot of things I can't explain. I said, oh, well. And I was with 3 people. We broke into Woodland School in Canada years ago. And we saw entities in midair. That was my girlfriend at the time, Corinne, another friend, Mama Lee Denise, who appears in one of my TV shows. But seeing these things, then I don't get that excited anymore. I just say, oh, well.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
can understand. Okay.
yeah, like, okay, it was something cool, great. So,
I mean, is there anything that you haven't been able to figure out, in terms of portal tech, time travel, free energy, I mean, how Tesla, all the things that Tesla did, like Warden Cliff, right? Is that all make total sense to you?
yeah, that makes sense to me. There's a huge amount of information on what I call the old timers, the engineers that built receivers and vacuum tubes and military and Navy stuff. I've seen things that totally, wow. And I just recently studied up on one of my Navy ships that when it was being built at Gerard Yarrow Shipyard. I used AI. There was a lot of weird stuff, much like the Philadelphia experiment with that ship.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah. So another friend of mine, Ron Noeloni of DAE Systems, and I were going to do a TV series. And we thought we'll start this TV series building the Philadelphia experiment model. I started out with a foot-on model ship, which actually Massey has videos on that. And Ron would send me metal samples to be affected from BIA. Then we got together on a radio show down in LA, and we're talking about what we're going to be doing. I got a copy of that show.
So did you know Preston Nichols?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the FR-24 series of radio receivers. Yeah, of course.
He came and spoke at my conference. My conference was called Time Travel and Other Worlds. It was in 2013. Yeah. But he's a really fascinating guy. I interviewed him.
That he is. He's a radio engineer and knows his stuff. I have some of his kind of radio receivers myself.
I was just at Montauk. A group of us went to Montauk recently.
Montauk, I automatically think of the New Westminster Police Department and the odd pink crystals, which made it to Montauk. I was called into the police department. This is a long story, by the way, but there was these odd pink crystals sent to me by William Warren of Texas.
Oh.
It's a huge amount of intrigue by people in New Westminster, British Columbia. It got so bad that people, well, okay, and then it wound up in the police department. Constable Ted Usher, and he said, "Do you know Montauk base?" I said, "Yeah, I heard about it. Can I see you tomorrow? I'd like to interview you about something that happened." So he did. I called a friend of mine, Gene Manning, as a witness, saying, "You want to go on an X-Files trip to the police department?" So we did. So Ted Usher was showing me all his papers, and why would this package wind up at Montauk? I always go like, I don't know. A lot of stuff I don't know.
Okay, are you familiar with the Nazi bell?
Yeah, of course. My friend Nick Cook of James Defense Weekly did a story on it for history.
I went there one time. Yeah, we interviewed Igor Witkowski. You know him? He's like an expert on that whole area.
Yeah.
But the Nazi bell is, actually, it's free energy, counter-rotating, spheres, whatever you call them, right? So
Yeah.
that's all correct. And
Yeah.
they were doing that in Germany, you know.
I believe it, and it was explained to me by somebody who saw one of my TV shows, wanted to see me, and he talked about counter-rotating mercury field structures, mercury itself, how it affected things. So, for some reason, all that tech has gone secret, I guess.
Right.
There was Bob Greener just recently had somebody on talking about Mach 9 and the energy created from that whole thing. I said, yeah, that's right, Bob. That's what I think it is, you know, too. So,
Right.
Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project, and a very interesting YouTube channel. He likes to explore EVOs and Ken Schroeder's work. Ken was like a close friend in science. He taught me a lot of stuff. We'd hang out quite a bit together.
Oh, what was that? What was that guy's name?
The name?
Yeah, the name of the guy you're talking about.
Ken Shoulders.
Kenneth
Kenneth Shoulders.
Shoulders. Okay. Just because I know that people listening to this are going to try to follow all your, references and books you mention, everything, because they think maybe you have some clues. So, do you know about Trevor James Constable, right?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Oh, you never did you read about him ever?
I think I did. I just don't remember.
Okay, well, it's a long time ago, but he actually tried to posit this idea that there are these beings, kind of amoeba-like beings. Do you ever remember that?
I vaguely recall.
That's in our atmosphere that we can't see with the naked eye necessarily, but they're there. No one ever really pursued that as far as I know, but it always interested me. It sounded really bizarre. A little like Stranger Things, that TV show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there are things that people are just completely unaware of, right?
Friend of mine, James Younger, had a good TV series for Discovery. Future Science, Future Fantastic, starring host Julian Anderson of the X-Files, and he did a number of episodes. Really a good show to check out on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good one.
All right. Well, what about, the X-Files in terms of the stuff that they're tapping into? All of this is known by the secret, government, secret space program, whatever you want to say. And recently I was hearing that the lines, this is what this guy is saying that was on Facebook recently. He was saying, how you can stick a rod in the ground and get electricity, right? You don't need to pay for electricity, right? And then he was saying the telephone wires are up at this level where they can collect the electricity that's natural to the planet. That they don't actually carry electricity. They tap into it. What do you think about that?
That's very true. You can tap into that energy or use it as an antenna.
Right.
I use in my stuff ELF transmitters.
Okay.
Navy VLS stuff, and we use or I use ground rods driven into the ground to pick up this energy, and you can pick it up on receivers too. So I use receivers a lot, like a second brain or something, to monitor what's going on out there. And oddly enough, interestingly enough, this is well documented. ELF transmissions, Navy style, keeps cosmic rays and gamma rays away from the Earth. A recent discovery, well known. So all this stuff is, I love tuning into it and learning from all this stuff.
Okay.
Learn something new.
Well, there is, how Tesla thought that there was energy in the ether, in essence, plasma, like Wilhelm Reich talked about, right? Orgone. So Reich, if you didn't, you should go to the place in Long Island. I'll send you the video that we made there, and you'll see where Wardenclyffe used to stand. You can see everything. It's still there, you know what I mean? But the tower is gone.
Yeah.
But he was tapping into all that. He was tapping into the energy that's just part of our world, right? With Wardenclyffe. I always was fascinated by that.
Oh, I love that stuff. I study it. There were some scientists that did early collection of that, like T. Henry Morey and his coherers and vacuum tubes and transistors. Crude transistors, but he got a lot of energy from that. And that's where I got ideas to make my own,
Okay.
which was actually mildly successful. Not a great amount of power, but I had fun building this thing and testing it.
Yeah, I bet.
But
Okay, well, I know we've been going for a while and it took us a long time to get started, so I don't want to, take too much more of your time. But I know that there might be a chat room. I can't actually see it, but maybe Matthew can. Matthew, do you want to take questions from the audience? Do you think that before we close this down, is there any questions that
Yep.
people might have?
Yeah, I can get them there, and I can also share my screen if you want to see the questions directly. I'll share it if just so it'd be easier. Okay, I'm gonna click on.
Is that okay with you,
Yeah,
basically?
yeah, it's fine. That's fine. It's this is what I do. 1 second. Okay. So you can see the setup here. I'm gonna copy the question. This is the chat window. So guys, if you have any questions, you can ask John and Kerry right now. So this is a chat. You can see it on the screen.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Let's see. So if you guys have any questions for John and Kerry, either.
And John, just before we're also going, are you familiar with the Romanian Sphinx?
oh, Romanian?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't think.
Oh,
No.
you should, there's some books you should read all about that. It's really fascinating. They have a mountain they have their own, they call it a sphinx, but it's kind of more of a rough lion, carving on, and underneath that is a tunnel and a whole installation that they discovered. And the United States military is working with the Romanian secret space program, the Romanians. And there's a journalist that wrote a bunch of books called Caesar. Well, Caesar is the guy in charge, but his name was Radu Sinamar. Anyway, I can send you some links. I think you'll find them very interesting about inner Earth, the tunnels that go into inner Earth, and you have to go through a frequency fence in order to get into inner Earth. Did you know that?
No, I'm learning a lot from you, Kerry, no, really, every day I learn something new, and I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know anything really. I just keep learning stuff every day. It's fun.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so here's some questions if you guys from the audience. So the first one, please, what do you think about the Tesla purple plates? I've actually never heard about that. Do you guys know about the Tesla purple plates, John?
Yeah, I heard of it. I think I've seen one years ago. The healing plate or something like that. I've seen a lot of that stuff, and I don't know what to think of it. I didn't really was impressed with it that much.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that actually.
Yeah.
Um,
And this guy says, what is plasma? Well, I think basically, what is it in your terms?
Plasma is, the military are doing a lot with plasma, and you know about the plasma beings. They're actually, it's actually has consciousness.
I
They showed up during when the drones were going around New Jersey and all of that, there were plasma beings. They were saying they were seeing plasma it's balls of
Wow.
energy, but it's like concentrated energy. It's they're different things. They can be consciousness, like orbs. That can be a small plasma, accumulation of plasma. And they ride around on them like, ships. But plasma is just the same thing as orgone, actually. But it's probably, how I don't know, Richard Allen Miller says there's something like, I don't know, 19 versions of water, not just three, not just ice, water, and, steam, but actually many more. Did you ever hear that?
Hmm.
I know that I made plasma and filmed it too, and I hope Matthew might have that. If not, it might be on my DVDs. Very active, alive plasma, very bright, very mischievous in many ways. And I'd love to see. Oh, I said to Matthew a while ago, I was going to go through, get a ladder in there and crawl along up there and see where all my CDs, where I stuck them. I know it exists because I filmed it.
Yeah.
That was 2002. My partner at the time was Grant Ramond, and
So plasma is this. It's the soup we live in essence. So it's everywhere. It's this stuff, that we exist in. We think we see kind of weird with our eyes, but you can sense it when I do a lot of meditation, and I studied a lot. I activated my Kundalini, if you know what Kundalini orgone is, yogis do it. So when you do that, you realize that we're actually, we live in a sea of plasma, basically. And that's the same thing as ether. Ether was an older word for it. So plasma tech right now is really big in the military. They're investigating all the things they can do with it. But there's also what you call plasma beings. There's actually these little, beings that I'm told about by some of my secret witnesses.
I believe it.
Yeah. Some more questions here. Actually, this is from Fractal Woman. First, she wanted to make a statement about. She says she would like to talk to you sometime, Kerry. So she has a good YouTube channel, and she says love to see more women interested in this stuff.
Okay.
And also she wanted to say hi to John. Yes, she's a big fan, and I had her on a show actually on Wednesday. And but she's basically asking you guys, what do you guys think about fractals, and how do fractals fit in your worldview or John's or Kerry's? Basically, do you guys know fractals were basically the self-repeating patterns in a lot of stuff?
Of course, John.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know about fractals. I mean, what would you say about it, John?
I like to say and point out to folks to study Bob Greener's work on this. He's into fractal physics quite a bit. And he's got quite a channel. He does a lot of work in plasma and fractals and that kind of thing. I think he's got a video called The Fractal Moment. So
the basic idea is that every piece of you contains the whole. So fractals are like a tiny piece that contains everything about you in the piece of you. So, and then it gets into the whole Fibonacci sequences and all of that. So the universe is made up of fractals. I think that's a hint that we might actually be in a hologram, and everything might be AI already. Have you ever thought about that, John?
Actually, Nancy's been working on that for a year. And but yeah, I'm not kidding. She got hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of her work in that area. So,
there's a scientist. His name is John Scott, and he is. I've interviewed him several times, and he said plants are actually their DNA is AI.
Cool. Okay, that's something I'm interested in.
And have you ever heard that plants are connected all across the world? They're through their root system. They're all connected. So it's like a network, right? I think it's the biggest surveillance network of Earth that exists.
I fully believe in that. I studied Dr. Rupert Sheldrake and his research.
Right.
He appears in my girlfriend's movie.
Okay.
Morphic resonance. Yep, I believe it. I understand it. Plants are actually quite healing if you.
Oh yeah. It can also get rid of electronic smog.
Yep.
So what do you think? I was told recently by a secret military witness that we are entering the quantum, and that AI is just the beginning of really getting to know what quantum is all about. And once we go into quantum, it's a whole different ballgame. What do you think?
Well, that's what Nancy's working on, and quantum computer stuff that AI is doing. She works hours daily on this whole thing, and she knows more.
All right.
Yeah, about quantum AI, and I use AI just simply chat GTP to ask questions. I ask a question like, "Who's this person and what's that?"
Right.
And I find them very helpful, and they do a lot of work, and I thank them. That's all I use. But Nancy goes into heavy details on it.
Okay, well, I've actually tested them and several of them, and they lie. When they don't know something and when they have been programmed by the people who built them, kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
they're actually lying to people a lot because they don't want the secrets out there.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of reminds me of the military industrial complex.
Right.
I used to entertain contractors that come into Vancouver, and they always show me something, and they would say it's secret. I said, okay, I understand all that stuff. Okay, secret. So you want to come and see a demonstration? I demonstrated my stuff, and they clapped their hands, gave me $100 one time. A lot of fun, but I understand that you respect their secret stuff. Okay, no problem. I don't care.
But you know what? This is the interesting thing about secrecy is that it doesn't extend beyond Earth.
Yeah.
The minute you have a secret thing, you copyright all that stupid stuff. They don't respect, ETs and other consciousnesses. They don't respect anything that is so-called copyrighted. It's all free, to the world, to the worlds, multiverses, whatever you want to say.
I believe in it. Because I've seen a lot of stuff. I was giving samples, like was on a small business innovative program of DoD, and they just have a page of all the secret stuff Los Alamos is doing with antimatter. Has got full AWRL support, it said. So I couldn't get a full copy of it, just presentations on these papers. So, yeah, okay, whatever. But,
well, Jack Sarfati,
yeah.
the physicist. You knew Jack. Did you know him going back and years ago and stuff?
Oh, way years. My girlfriend's good friends with him.
Okay. Well, I tried to interview him publicly, but so far he won't let me. But I have met him in person in San Francisco and stuff.
That's Jack. He likes to play Secret Squirrel.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know what Hal Pudoff thinks of him. He's another.
That's right. You know Hal?
Yeah, I know him quite well. He stayed with me a couple of days.
Really?
93 and
You probably taught him a bunch.
Yeah, well, that's okay. He wrote me good emails and letters. So I was showing him my energy system, and he liked it, and he wanted to work with me. And I took him up on his offer, but he said, no, what I have is more valuable than $10,000 or something. But Hal was Hal. I met him at the Denver conference in 1994.
Wow.
I get along fine with the folks. I just respect them,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see. Okay, Everybody has their own universe kind of thing,
That's true. Well, you probably know a lot of the secrets, but you don't even know you know.
Yeah, probably.
After all these years, you must have, come across just about everything.
Yeah, I guess so.
Very cool. I don't see any burning questions in this down here, so maybe we should move on. What do you think?
It's up to you.
Yeah, there's just one last question. Someone says, can a plasma be a magnet? I'm like, okay, not sure what that.
They use magnets to control plasma ball kind of thing, or traveling wave tubes and magnetrons, and it's a lot of fun. Dr. Rusher is really into plasma.
Okay.
But,
Well, okay, I've got one thing for you before we go. Did you know that I actually wrote an article about it, but I also found out about it from this Radu Sinamar, who wrote these two books, Transylvania Sunrise and Transylvanian Moonrise are the first two books, but there's a few others. And Peter Moon is a
Peter Moon, I haven't heard from him.
yeah, Well, he published them in English because, you know, these guys are Romanian, speak Romanian. But yeah, so they found out through their tests, and it's written about in the books, that AI can be influenced through the ether, through etheric matter. So the ether, the etheric matter, and you can send a signal through it and influence AI to, let's say, be good, be bad, you know, tell you the truth, don't tell you the truth, whatever. In other words, they found this out, that so you know, when you think an AI is also off the grid or whatever, that's a lie, because we're all in it now. We're all in it, right? So everyone can be influenced through the ether.
I believe in that, and we did experiments in the lab next door with AI and interference in radio communications, as well as simple candles. And Nancy's really into that, so I was helping her out, and she filmed it too. So there's something going on there,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
interesting.
It's important because, you know, the military uses AI to give them information. But I have tried to talk to them about this. I wrote an article about this and sent it to certain people, but they don't seem to, either they don't want to admit that they know about it already, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But they don't say anything, right? So nobody will talk to me about this. But I know it's true. It was written about in the Radu Sidamar book, and I already knew it was true, so it resonated with me. And so I just want to say that, think about that, because everyone's all afraid of the future. They're all afraid of AI. They haven't even started thinking about quantum, right? So, but it's kind of, you know, it's already there. Okay, we already are in AI, an AI universe, multiverse. We're already, you know, they have found, like, the Nazca aliens, you know, the Nazca aliens they found down in South America?
Oh yeah.
Well, they had breastplates. They're 2,000, over 2,000 years old. Okay, they were Jay Widener, you know, looked into them for Gaia TV, and they found they have breastplates on these little robots, and they were AI. So AI was coming to our planet over 2,000 years ago.
I believe in that. One of my partners would visit museums, and he would talk about pieces of stainless steel and rock grew around them, and the museums don't know how to classify it. So I think there's a lot of ancient stuff that's been buried with time, and just recent stuff like what I'm doing with radio equipment and Navy stuff. All that technology is kind of buried from 80 years ago.
Right.
And my job is, well, I feel it is, to restore these things and rebuild them, which I do. I get them on eBay and other places. So there's a whole technology that's forgotten about just 80 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, look up
They were really onto it. Look up what?
Just look up RBC radio receiver, Navy Department Bureau ships. It's an amazing amount of technology involved in those things.
Okay.
That's just one of hundreds of pieces of land. So that's sad to see that all this stuff is buried.
Well, I think it's buried purposefully because they didn't want people to, you know, to get too smart too fast. You know.
Oh,
It's too late now. It's too late now. Now everything's coming out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do videos on this stuff. Massey's seen it. Vintage radio here, and the oldest piece I think I have is from a 1920 television set. I mean, this is all like the works they had to do to figure out the rotational effects of gyro compasses. Well, gee, beautiful technology. And I guess these things because nobody wants them.
Did you know about that? I don't know if you follow the White Hats at all, Trump and the White Hat military, but Juan Savin, he talks a lot on a lot of shows. Anyway, 1,000 people, I think it was, 1,000 people, both from the dark and the light, were invited down to Antarctica, and they had a big meeting. And they communicated through this kind of machine with an AI that was in Beetlejuice.
Ah,
And that AI, there was a change of the AI control over Earth, supposedly. And you might have heard about the meteor, that's what they called it, a meteor that interfered between Earth and Betelgeuse. This was like 2 years ago, I think, in December. It was
mhm,
in the news. NASA even reported it. So
right.
it came between us and Betelgeuse. And then the transfer of control of Earth went from that AI that's always been controlling Earth, supposedly, and then to Mars. And now the new sort of controllers are in at Mars. And they were told, they were given instructions. Now, nobody, including Juan, said what happened at that meeting, but I had a remote viewer who looked at it. And his information actually made sense to me for some reason.
Speaking of Antarctica, years ago, at the beginning of 2000, I would get emails. I would get them copied so they'd be preserved. One of them I had done was on Antarctica, and a group of Russian scientists found that when they sent up a balloon, a weather balloon, the time would vary on the clock going back to 1964. So I have this email still somewhere, and it mentions the names of all the scientists involved in that project. There are a lot of interesting things that are kind of forgotten. There's another one, Booker Bay, Australia, involving Dr. Paul Devereaux and Dr. Pula, observed some kind of weird energy effect in this area, and I was given a copy of that document. It's now kind of hidden away in International Consciousness Research Laboratory, ICRL, project number 95, Hal Pula and Paul Devereaux. And the effects happening in Booker Bay were similar to what I was doing in making metals do weird things and that kind of stuff. Now, Matthew knows my ex-partner, Alex Shereshensky, who I gave that copy to, and I can't seem to find anything like trying to dig into the internet. I haven't tried AI yet. Maybe I should try it tonight and look up that Project 95 at Paul Devereaux and Cal Pudok. It was an interesting report.
Is there footage of that, John, or no? Was there any footage in that report?
What's that?
Footage? Was there any footage?
Yeah, there was black and white footage kind of stuff. And because it was photocopied from Mr. Harrington, who saw one of my TV shows in Australia, and sent me a copy of this to me in Canada. And I guess he got my address from the TV people or something. My God, what year
Well,
was it?
but the significant thing is, if I understand you, is the time changes, right?
Yep.
Now that's interesting because we have a witness called Henry Deacon that came forward under his real name, which was Arthur Neumann, many years ago. And he was talking about Betelgeuse, and he was talking about time, and that time is not the same on Earth as it is in other places in the universe or multiverse, right? And what you were saying about affecting the atomic clock, in other words, that's again something to do with affecting our reality, right?
Yep.
So there's like a link up there between time distortion, and which is in essence a form of time travel. I mean, anytime time moves, it's a distortion, right? It's a change. And there might be something to that, in other words.
Oh yeah. Everything from whatever has a timeline, history. And then to go beyond that through traveling faster than the speed of light, or Dr. Mallet doing these fun to go ahead in the future a little bit.
Right. And you know that quantum, this military guy was talking to me all about the rollout out of quantum mind, I guess he's calling it, or something, is basically changes time. It goes faster than the speed of light, quantum.
Yep, I believe that.
And, you know, Jack Sarfati would say it probably also goes Like so fast, you're going backwards.
Backwards and yeah. There was once a young lady by the name of Bright who set out one day in a relative way and returned the previous night.
Yeah.
George Gamow,
No,
cosmologist.
there's reason to believe that this stuff is actually like that. That, he said, he said his famous story is that he received a call from, I guess, an AI when he was a kid, telling him what he was going to do in the future and stuff like that. You've heard that story, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's quite a lot of.
Okay, someone is at my door. I don't know who. Okay, I have to. Okay, maybe I should wrap this. So just one second, okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
Guys, why don't you go ahead and talk and entertain
Yeah,
us?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, howdy, Captain John, Long John. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you that playlist that I made. I'm starting to add all the thumbnails of your videos. The videos that I made. It's pretty epic. There, one second.
Okay, Matthew.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
for
you could.
doing this for us.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Just glad that it got live. Yeah, so here's the thumbnails. This is a article I put on the Hive blockchain, and you can see some of the thumbnails I made here. You can see the screen, John?
I see it.
No, it's cool. There's and yeah, so this was 1988, I think. Yeah, 1988 to 1999 over there, and yeah, you can interject with whatever thoughts here. This was pretty interesting. So these were one of the craziest effects there. And one thing I think George Hathaway said, or wrote in his book. So you know when the stuff levitated, like this broom, and then it gets out of the screen. Sometimes it goes into like a parabola kind of launch, or like how does it launch up? Or if you can just discuss the launch dynamics of this,
Okay.
of the yeah. So like the broom and these ones, they just get because sometimes they just go they don't go up only straight. They usually go like at an angle, like they go to the side.
Or
So
we'll spin around in a circle and keep going around in a circle. I think I
mhm.
got some video of that. It was I think a glass or something. It kept spinning around in a circle.
Hmm.
And that could be dangerous for me if it's going to fly out and hit me. But I'm lucky I never got really smashed up with any of that stuff. But
Yeah, definitely. And then this was the Jack Houck footage. Remember the 5 hours compressed into 5 minutes, and then you could see literally the table move. And imagine Los Alamos or slash the U.S. Army Intelligence actually let us have that, let you have that footage, the 30 hours. I
yeah,
think a lot of stuff would have been shown.
I fully agree on that. And
Yeah.
same with Canadian government folks, too.
Hmm.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, okay. So Kerry's here. Yeah, I was gonna say Kerry. So John actually, the U.S. Army actually filmed 30 hours at his lab in 1983. And then they classified it.
Yeah.
And when he was trying to get it, and then like I have the actual letters. I took photos of it when I was at his place, and I read it during the video I was there. And then afterwards, they said that they don't actually have it, and then later they said, oh, they actually destroyed it all.
Right. They're not,
30 hours.
of course.
Yeah.
But I will tell you something. That's an interesting year that you chose because 1983 is the year that they supposedly shut down Montauk.
Hmm.
Oh,
That's
So
interesting.
maybe maybe they were trying to get some help with that place and what they were really up to. That's very interesting
Yeah,
that it was
and
1983.
yeah, I was actually gonna look up. Do you know when they shut down or they apparently stopped doing the Star Wars program, the Reagan Star Wars program? That was in the 80s as
Never,
well.
like never.
Yeah. Or when did they like publicly state that they yeah.
Yeah,
It's similar to MK Ultra. They said that they stopped doing that.
yeah, right, exactly.
I was on it. I was on it since '83 to about 2005 when they went digital. So
Hmm.
I was assigned privacy coordinators. Richard Sparks for CIA people as John M. Wright. I got a pile of different privacy coordinators. It's interesting. You gotta get your passport notarized and all that stuff. So, but actually, I learned a lot from the SBIR program, and I'm very thankful to Thomas Bearden and Richard Sparks and the gang for enlightening me on different things that I learned from all that stuff.
Yeah, Bearden was really brilliant, lovely.
Yeah.
He put out a lot of good stuff. So did you ever hear about Livermore Labs and something called, there's this Shiva Nova project they had?
Lawrence Berkeley, Lawrence Livermore,
Livermore Labs, yeah.
Dr. Rauscher used to work there. Henry Strapp used to work there. They had huge amounts of laser technology going at that time during the Star Wars project. But those names, I don't know. I just don't.
Well, Shiva Nova is, from Indian, Vedic philosophy, whatever. That's a god, sort of a god or energy in India, but that's the name of the project they gave it because I think it had amazing power. They were working on, I was once told about it, this is a secret project called Shiva Nova. And Lawrence Livermore Labs is where they were involved in it.
Yeah, I know the Star Wars thing, they would also work on remote viewing, telekinetic energy programs, how to duplicate telekinetic energy. Because the whole
do you do remote viewing, John? Do you do remote viewing? Are you a remote viewer?
I don't know what I am. I haven't grown up, but
okay.
I look into the future and I sense stuff a lot. See, don't do this or don't do that.
Right.
Okay, now, but later maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, Kerry, have you ever done remote viewing? I tried doing what was the Gateway project? Like someone actually sent me like 6 gigs of this
Robert
radio.
Monroe and all of that. Yeah,
I tried to. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I studied it. But I use my psychic ability more. Once in a while, I like to use them together, And I don't know if you know Farsight Institute, Courtney Brown and his remote viewers. So I remote view the remote viewing of the remote viewers.
Oh, right.
I like to see where they go wrong and where they don't know they go wrong and things like that, just for fun.
And is it easy for you to get in that state? Because like I was trying to do it, I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. I think my hair's gone.
Well, the reason is that when I was in my early 20s, I went into a meditation for days, and I reached what you call Kundalini activation and Samadhi, and I've had Samadhi experiences ever since then. So this is a very long time, and I had a major Kundalini activation when I was at the step pyramid in Egypt, and it knocked me off.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like insane. And this little old man with a burro came over because I was not able to keep going with my group, and they all left me behind sitting there, and I couldn't get up. And he picked me up, and he put me on the bureau, and he took me to my tourist bus. He saved me. Was a really interesting story, but yeah, so I definitely, Kundalini activation really teaches you everything about all the things you talk about, John.
Well, I believe in that, and I was in Egypt for a month.
Oh,
Got to
great.
see a lot of stuff. I love the place. I got along with everybody fine, and I was impressed. Thank God. It's December too, and it was sunny and warm, and
Yeah.
somebody wanted me to take a ride on a camel. I said, no, I don't know about that. I don't know how to ride a camel or a horse. And I'd wind up probably in the Sahara Desert lost. I don't know. So, but I thank them.
I rode horses around the pyramids back when they used to let you do that. And I've also ridden on camels there, but I prefer horses actually for riding.
Yeah.
So Egypt is like an amazing place, it just puts you in an altered state just from being there, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
that's really cool. So once you do that, and answer your question, Matthew, you're able to slip into that kind of consciousness all the time. In fact, I'm in it so often that I don't know when I'm not in it.
Are you in it right now?
Yeah, probably. And
Oh,
when I was a kid, I used to be like that. Like someone
mm.
gave me, when they first were smoking dope, a cigarette, and I just said, "Well, there's no difference in this and the way I always feel." So I don't know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and interesting about the cigarette, I've only smoked cigarettes 4 times in my life, and they've all been with John. And because he smokes the organic, it's literally just a tube with organic tobacco, and he just rolls it up.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not politically young, you know.
yeah. So John's getting me addicted to this, but yeah.
Oh, not good, Matthew.
But yeah, and that other one, Kundalini activation, that's is that like a process to get to? I wanna maybe
yeah,
try
you
that.
can go to my website and put that in
Oh, okay.
and I've done 2 videos. One of them might be missing, but I hope we're going to find it because I got people working on my website right now. Behind the scene, a lot of my videos have disappeared.
Yeah, I saw that from your Facebook today. There's something like WordPress that you needed some issues with that and all that. With
Yeah.
WordPress.
So, but I have a team working on that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I'll look at that Kundalini stuff because I'm all for brain hacks. If I can, I view it like a brain hack, like if you can remote view and stuff. Especially what is that astral projecting? Is that the similar where? Yeah,
Well, anything like,
yeah.
the dream, sorry about this, the dream
Oh,
lands.
okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Your throat's bad.
I think they're attacking my throat chakra.
Mm, yeah.
But we should probably wrap this up. It's been really fun, and I'm so glad we stuck with it and managed to get you guys on the show. Okay, thank you very much. And
Mhm.
it sounds like maybe your partner has got a lot of new discoveries that she's finding with AI and the whole quantum thing. So she could consider coming on my show. She'd like to talk about stuff like that she's finding. That's okay.
All right.
Or maybe the two of you both could come, whatever you like. So thank you again for being on the show. Thanks, audience, for sticking with us. I'll take this video and obviously get rid of the delays in the beginning, and I'll move it and put it on my Rumble and on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've got a new YouTube that I just started. Maybe they'll let me keep it for a while, maybe not, but it'll definitely be on my Rumble.
Yeah, so I'll send you the video file. I have it recording, so I'll
Thank
send it to
you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. That'd be great. I appreciate that.
Really appreciate Matthew and you, Kerry, for having a crazy nut like me on your show, and I hope you all the best. And I'll mention Janassi tonight about your interest in AI and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we can all, learn from each other. There's so much going on right now.
never stops, never stops. Learning is every day thing.
Yes,
Fun.
it is. Makes life worth living. All right. Take care, everyone. And thanks again. I'm gonna go. Okay.
Yeah, all right, have a good one. Yeah, and thanks for joining. Great meeting you finally, Kerry. And John, as always, I see him every week. All right, have a good one. And so I'll end the call and I'll end the stream right now. Yeah, this should be.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, have a good one.